Pleasant good morning to you students. Good morning to all viewers, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're out the classroom. Welcome, and good morning to today's episode, the midweek episode of Speaking Out Exposing Corruption Incompetence. Today, Wednesday, the 15th day of May, 2024. How this year is moving rapidly ahead. So welcome one and all. Welcome. Hope you have had a good night. Hope you had a good few days. You're looking forward to the remainder of the week, to be productive during the remainder of the week. Here we are once again to bring you the credible information. And as we will tell you, we have so much to say again this morning. So much to say. Bob Marley, we got so much things to say right now. We got so much things to say. We have a lot to say. I know you're going to tell me I can't sing, but I don't mind communicating. We have so much to say this morning. My colleague, Mr. Conway, CC, as we call him, is already in the studio. He's ready and waiting. So share the live. You know the drill by now. Share the live. Give us a thumbs up. Share the live. Give us 3 thumbs up. Show your appreciation for the efforts that we make to do the research and to come to you on Mondays and Wednesdays to bring you the credible information. Again, as I said, we have so much to tell you. Yesterday in the notification for the program today, I told you we will continue to discuss this issue with rape allegations against the former minister, Daimlal. Again, rape allegations again. And also, we had planned to discuss the continued traffic carnage on the roads in Guyana Monday, but we didn't have the time to do that. We hope we can do those two subjects and more this morning because we have lots more that we want to tell you. I know we'd have to say this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks to being in the land of the living. So many persons would not have been this fortunate. So every morning we wake up, we must give praise, we must give thanks, because without um, the mercies of the good Lord, we would not be able to be here this morning and to share in this program. So welcome, 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 one and all. Welcome. And I wish to congratulate you, students. Wednesday students. Well, you know, most of you are Wednesdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. But again, today, you broke the record for the number of students in the classroom, in the schoolyard rather, because some people have said that notwithstanding the inclement weather, they braved it to be in the schoolyard to wait on this very informative, educational program. So we're not going to disappoint you. We are not going to disappoint you. So yeah, we have last week Wednesday we had a record number, and I must report that today we broke the record that we established last Wednesday. So you're doing well. You are doing well, students, by being in the schoolyard and by coming to class. This morning we scheduled the program very early. We scheduled it just after 4 o'clock this morning, and as to be expected, many students came in to the schoolyard immediately, notwithstanding the weather. And we're going to do the roll call. The usual thing, we're going to do the roll call, and then we're going to go straight into the program to bring you this information that we have to share with you today, the teachings that we have to do. We have a lot of teaching for the police, lots of teaching. So take out your notebook, sit back, and make your notes to this. So remember, even if you miss something, we always tell you, once the live broadcast is finished, you're going to find us on YouTube, the same program, on YouTube and Facebook. So in case you miss something, you can go there and you can look at it, again. And you would have noted that we have been making some short clips. So while the program itself lasts about 2 hours, including announcements, including roll call, what we do, we then go and we make excerpts, short clips, 15, 20 minutes or so, and it is posted on YouTube, it is posted on Facebook. So just in case you don't have the time, I know some people don't even want the roll call and all that. So we say to you, you can come in like 11:15 in the morning when the roll call and these things are over, or you can go on YouTube afterwards and you're going to see these clips without the roll call and all of that. So welcome to you. Welcome. As again, I must say this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice. Let's be glad in it. Today is Wednesday, the 15th day of May, in the year 2024. Halfway through the month already. Halfway through the month. And don't call me a liar for the 1 day, because we know it's 31 days in May. And we know next month, at least I know, some people don't know that next month, June month, is 30 days. But the acting commissioner, the extended squatter, did interdict a person from the 31st of June, of June 2023. So they have their own calendar, but we are working with our calendar, which is the accepted one, which says that May has 31 days and June has 30 days. So we go into the roll call, and then I'm going to try to go through the roll call as quickly as possible. So forgive me, because we have so much to tell you this morning. We're going to run through it, and then we are going to go straight into the program. So the first person in this morning, congratulations, all the way from Borby, Stafford. And he says from Borby's. Then we have Charles, and after Charles, straight out from the UK, Wayne was here, then Floyd, then Kieran, Joan, Vernon, then we have Kenneth. Kenneth is from Maryland. Evelyn came in, and she said blessings and all of that. Ulrich, my squad mate from Barbados, is here. Jacko from Georgia. Then we have Dion, and after Dion, Mandela is here, followed by Cranston. And Cranston is saying he's asking us to give him a shout out. His birthday is Saturday coming. So advance birthday greetings to you, student. Hope you have a wonderful day. and that you live to see many, many, many more. So Cranston is saying his birthday is Saturday, and he's asked for a shout out. So hey, that's your shout out. Then we had Brennan. He said he must beat and teach. Yeah, we beating and teaching. John is here. Monica, Daniel, and Monica. If I should go back to Monica, Monica says that our regulation number was 13256. That was our regulation number. And I said, yeah, Daniel. Then we had Denise from Florida, Tessa from Florida, Dexter is here. Then we have Pito. Pito is from Queens. David is here. What he said, I'm here from day one. He said he's here from day one, but I'm sure he didn't come in before. That's what they bought about. Ella is here. Then we have Colin. Yeah, Colin, I remember you very well. I remember you, Colin. Francis from Melanie Damashan is here. Clive is from the UK. Then we have Emerson. He is from Manhattan. Como, 8218 Como is with us. He's from New Jersey. Magnell is present from Brooklyn. Pauline. Then we have Gary. That's another Barrow. Marcus. Rohan. Rohan was missing a few weeks, and he says that he had to go. He traveled to Guyana for the cremation of his mother-in-law. Condolences to you, my brother. Condolences. Is always tough to lose a family member, even if it's an in-law. So I know you would have gone through quite a lot. And I noted the other comment. I'm going to deal with it in a short while. Aubrey is here. Old Police, Brampton, Ontario, Canada, 9053. Raul is here. Then this is the comment I referenced earlier. He's saying, and this is what Ron is saying, if you are a student on this program or a friend of Paul Slow, you're subjected for detainance at Sherry Jagan International Airport. Label on your ticket SSSS. Why? Then he said F in domination. I don't know what the SSSS stands for, but that is what one of the students who went to Guyana recently to cremate his mother-in-law is saying. Then we have Henrik is here from Florida, Carlisle, Clifton, all the way from Paris, Jean, Barbara, Karen, Maureen is in the house, Sean from New York, ex-sergeant Sean Rabendranat, always present. Debbie is here. She's from Providence on the east bank of Demerara. Travis is in the house, and this is Travis Douglas. Smitty, 7464. Smitty is in the house. Welcome, Vibert. Danny, Danny was 9732 or 31, is in the house. Bonita from West Coast Barbies is here. Welcome. Morton, Mr. G is in the house. And then after Mr. G, he says that he's waiting in the schoolyard to begin class. He spelled the name wrong, and then he came back afterward and he apologized for that. Guyana needs more citizens like you guys. This is real service to Guyana. Thank you very much, Mr. G. Glendis, East Coast Demerara. Camille is another Barrow, is in the house. The Barrows are well represented. Oren from the UK is here. Queenie from Brooklyn in the house. Terence from Canada, 9795. Tia Ben, 123, is in the house. Oren, 12758. Ulrich from Crane is in the house. Jakey from Baltimore, Maryland. Rastaman came next. Then we have Old Police, Derek McCallum, 7854. Welcome, Mark. Desiree, and Desiree is joining. She says, welcome. Then we have Winston. Winston is from California. Malcolm was next. And then we have Isabella. She's watching from Manhattan. Malvok 5, fingers, Malvok 5. Anthony Bradshaw from Peters Island, the East Bank. Sandra is here with us. Then we have Gaston from Canada, my squad mate. Clarence, Nigel, BV Man Ezekiah. BV Man Ezekiah is in the house. Inferno Boss is here as well. Then we have, who's next? After Inferno Boss, Malcolm. And hear what Malcolm is saying. Good morning from the Essequibo Coast. It's raining terrible over here. Then he asked the question, why is the government silent on Venezuela's incursion in the Kaini River, and they're not telling the nations anything? That is the style. That is the type of transparency they preach. Then we have family music, followed by Colin, and Lucius is here, Ian. Princess Ord from Lamar Spring came next. Then we have Duan. Then all the way from Borbis, Sagi 9602 Jarvis is in the house. Then we have Mr. Simpson, so he's in the yard. Then Winston came next, followed by the man from Arizona, 9414. Carl is in the house. Barlett from the Hills in Linden. Barlett, I also observed there's another man from the Hills, by the Hills, well represented on this program. Another man on the Hills this morning. Doreen is here from Canada. Everett is in the house. And Everett is saying, I got to read what Everett is saying. A pleasant good morning to you, my brother, they said Mr. Mitchell Caesar. I've noticed that he is MIA. And he said MIA in this case means missing in America. And he smiles. Missing in America. Why I understand the man back on the work. Rhonda is here, followed by Grace, followed by Lorraine. Bert is in the house, asking permission to fall in. But we tell you that once you come, permission is given for you to come into the schoolyard, because we open the gate, and once the gate is open, you come into the yard. And then later, when the door is open at 11, you come into this classroom. Patricia is here, and from Philadelphia. Then we have Sydney, Brantford, the original black man. Leon Schwartz, 10025 was his regulation number. Corinne is here. Sheena, Earl, Roderick, and after Roderick, we have Vibort, the man from the East Bank of Demerara. Then this man always amuses me, man. He always have these comments. Se3 Gibson, Daram Lal, the bugger man, and Sticky Finger, and all of that. Se3, you got to behave, Se3, you got to behave. Trevor Calendar is here. Then we have, he's from Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut. Then we have Lynette, followed by Junior, followed by Kurt. Then we have the man from Schenectady, Roy, followed by O'Neill, followed by Clay. Then we have Vibert from Brooklyn is in the house. Philip is here. Monica is in, she's from Friendship on the east coast of Demerara, where I understand the other, somewhere in the area, the other fatal shooting this yesterday or sometime. Police shot and killed a man. Junior is here. Then after Junior, we have Keelan, followed by Delon, followed by John. John, followed by another, Easy. And then Charles came in. After Charles, we have Rich Forever, Chilo is in the house. Then Orville. Then Courtney, Melville, from Brooklyn. And this name, I can't recall seeing this one before. Omatayo is here. Then the secretary, welcome secretary, is in the house. Sharon, Clarence, Orin, Melissa, Old Police 6659, Gordon is here. Robbie is in the house, followed by Sharwin. Then we have, after that, we have Corinne. We have Maury is here, followed by James. And then when we went live, the first person was Edward, followed by Simone. And these are the Facebookers, followed by Patricia. Then Patricia's on YouTube, but Karen. And then we had Stian, Lynette from Barbados, Abdun from Essequibo Coast, and Tony. And the list goes on and on and on. And as I've said, well represented. And I said too, part of the reasons why we do this is to let you know that when we tell you we have all these number of persons waiting in the schoolyard for the class to start, you see the evidence there. We're not coming and making up things. We're not of that league. We're not of that league. So here we have it. Here we have it. Now let me go straight into the announcements, and then I'm gonna bring in my colleague. Now the first announcement I want to make is one of those sad announcements announcing the death of former Sergeant Jeff Jones, and he was a regular in this class too. Jeff Jones, Old Police Sergeant, his regulation number was 10887. I got word on Monday that Josie passed on Monday morning somewhere in the US. But we said we are very cautious on this program. I didn't want to announce it without getting confirmation. But it has now been confirmed that Jonesy, 10887, he from the Essequibo Coast, 10887 died. As I said, he was a regular on this program. I think I missed him a few weeks, and I did wonder what had happened to him. The information is that he traveled to the States to seek medical attention, and he passed away on Monday morning. Now, for those of you who don't know Jonesy, Jonesy was a good friend of mine. He was one of my recruits. I think it was in 1980. He joined, and then he was a cricketer in the dominant police senior cricket team of the 80s, late 70s, 80s. Josie, I think he replaced Milton Paidana as a keeper. You know, Milton Paidana was Guyana, and then he went on to West Indies. He toured Pakistan with the West Indies. Now, when Pai left, Jonesy became the prominent wicketkeeper, standout wicketkeeper. And for those of you who Ulrich and these might not know, Jacko and the others who follow cricket, Jonesy played in one first-class match. And let me say this, he never represented Guyana in cricket, but he played in one first-class match. You want to know how that is so? The reason why that is so, because back in the day, in the 1980-81, around that time, the inter-county final, the Jones Cup final, the final of that competition was given first-class recognition. And Josie played in a match, Essequibo versus Borbis. I mean, he didn't do so well in the batting. He met 5-on-5. Both innings, Clayton Lambert took him out. But he also had 2 dismissals in that same match where he got a card behind and he stumped, I think it was Ewan Evans or somebody, he stumped. So yeah, Jonesy did play one first-class match, even though he did not represent Guyana. The younger people will not know that, but you know, it's for us older ones to share this information. Again, I say, he never represented Guyana, but he played a first-class match, and that is why, because the Jones Cup inter-county match as it was then, the finals only of that match was accorded first-class status. And the Jonesy played for Essequibo versus Borbis in that match. It was 1980-81. So yeah, Jonesy passed, and condolences to his relatives, friends, and all of those persons. As I said, Jonesy was a good friend. And let me tell you something more about Jonesy. Jonesy joined, I was a sergeant. I was responsible for their training. And let me tell you this story. When Jonesy, they came into when they were recruited, I was at the time sent to the CID headquarters to conduct training for the ranks at CID, train them in the use of firearm, tactical training, and so on. So when that batch came in, they wanted me, Brung, who was the man at TSU, Borshill Brung, he was the second in command to Rocco, wanted me to go back for training. So the morning I went and I reported to Skip Roberts, Deputy Commissioner Law Enforcement, that I was recalled to the TSU. And Skip pulled rank. Skip said, "You're not going any place until I tell you to go." So I said, well, as an obedient man, I remain. So they had this big tug and pull. I understand the matter was resolved at the commissioner's level. And the commissioner said, well, look, let me go back and do the training. Now, so I went back to train that squad. It was myself and Conway squad mate 9112 Trim, Caffrey. And you know where that course was accommodated? Not at the training school, not at the TSU, but in the Mounted Branch compound above the band room. There's a back room there. And because of they hadn't enough space at the training school nor at the TSU, that place was made up with cots and the necessary stuff and accommodated that squad. 10-8-8-7 Jones and all of those forces were my trainees. And before I leave, Jonesy credited me and Trim with making him so fit, because PT every morning, making him so fit that he had his best performances during that period. He said anytime anybody touched anything and it went, he was able to fly to his left, fly to his right, because we made him very, very fit physically. So Jonesy, I want to say, rest in peace, my brother, and rise in glory. You have served well, and the good Lord has decided it is time for you to come home. So therefore you're gone. No more pains, no more troubles. And so yes, and then to move on, the happier part, today is the birth anniversary of retired Deputy Superintendent Colin Boyce. I want to wish Colin all the best. He's also my countryman. And I also want to wish someone on this program, Ron, Ron Simon, he's a follower. He's not a police, but he's a regular on this program. Today, he's also celebrating a natal day. He's a cousin of mine. So, Ron, all the best to you. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to move on. CC, welcome, my brother.
Morning. Happy to be in the land of the living. Uh, Happy birthday to Colin and the other follower. And I remember Jeff Jones well. We were very good friends. And may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, talking about Josie just so caused me to be a little emotional. You know, we had a good relationship, even though we didn't see each other often. But the relationship went back years and years and years. When I used to manage the senior team, and Josie was there, always very jovial, always very jovial. Yeah, moving along. Let me say the next issue, as we said we wanted to discuss further this issue with Dharam Lal, who has been accused yet again of rape. This time, the young economist accused him of rape. The development in that story is that we learned yesterday that let me see what the release said. That it says that Dharamlal investigators questioned Dharamlal over new sexual assault allegation. This is yesterday. Let me read quickly what it says. This release from newsroom, and tell you again, newsroom is one of the PDP mouthpiece, and it says days after allegation of sexual assault were leveled against him and a report was made to the police, former government minister Nigel Dharamlal turned himself over to the police for questioning. Dharamlal, who was accompanied by his attorney Bernard De Silva, showed up at the Covanjan police station at 9 hours on Tuesday. That's yesterday. He was immediately taken into custody, where he remains as investigators question him in relation to the allegation. Dharamlal, in a statement last week, has denied the allegations outright. Speaking to reporters outside the police station, Da Silva said Dharamlal continues to deny the allegation leveled against him. And then they quote Da Silva saying the police invited Dharamlal to report, for a report to the Covanjan police station. He is cooperating with the police. He has just conducted an interview of which he denied all the allegations, and the police will have to take it from there. End of quote. Dharamlal remains in police custody and is being processed in keeping with the standard procedure. It goes on, the release goes on to say, according to Da Silva, a decision is yet to be taken on granting Dharamlal his pre-trial liberty. Then he's quoted there as saying, and that is Da Silva, bail cannot be decided at this stage because the OC does not have the jurisdiction to consider bail at this stage. He's also quoted as saying, because of the nature and who the person is, it may be deemed more than just the OC. It may demand more than just the OC crime here. Da Silva said. Da Silva said the interview was conducted uninterrupted. And then he's quoted there saying too, I have full confidence in the police to do their work. I do not want to interfere. I have given him instructions and he is matured enough to follow my instructions. End of quote. And then the statement said police headquarters on Monday said that Crime Chief Wendell Blanham has confirmed that the victim, Sarah Hack, has filed a formal report against Dharamlal. That was then. And the update to that last evening, it says that former government minister, the headline is Dharamlal released on 500,000 bail. Former government minister Nigel Dharamlal was released on 500,000 bail Tuesday after questioning in relation to the new sexual assault allegation earlier in the day. The newsroom understand that bail was granted with reporting conditions. Dharamlal has to report to the Covanjan police station every Wednesday. Further information revealed that the case file in the matter remains incomplete. Dharamlal's attorney said Dharamlal was questioned for several hours on Tuesday by investigators. That is what the update is, that Dharamlal was invited. Note, according to what the attorney said. I don't want to misquote them, He said, police invited. Let me again say what the lawyer, Mr. Da Silva, is quoted in newsroom as saying, that police invited Daimlal to report to Kovanjan police station, and he is cooperating. I know what all that means. But there are several issues to be discussed in relation to this matter. Before I go on any further, just give you a background as to what happened. We know the second allegation of rape was made against Daimlal. Now, one of the disturbing things to me is that when the person who made the allegation at the virtual press conference on Friday, they reported that she said that this report was made days before the Coverdale police station. Finally, after she went to Sparnam, she went to CID headquarters, then eventually the report was taken at Coverdale police station. So Friday, she gave this press conference. And, the thing is that, as we would have seen, Friday press conference was given. According to the Guyana Press Association, they were then trying to confirm with the police corporate communication unit, with the crime chief, with Brutus, with all of these people, as to whether or not such a report was made. And they all danced, they duck and they run and they hide, forcing the Guyana Press Association to issue a press release on Monday, calling out them for not responding to the request for information. Shortly thereafter, the crime chief, Assistant Commissioner Weldon Bladham, came out and confirmed that such a report was made. And I asked a question on Monday. Now, if a report is made on whatever day this report is made, this press conference is held on Friday for the world to see. The journalists then reach out to you to find out whether or not such a report. What is the harm in saying, yes, we have such a report? And I said that is why the credibility of these persons have gone through the window. There is no harm, none at all, in confirming that the report was in fact made at Covanjan police station, and we are investigating, full stop. You don't have to say anything further, but to dance and to duck and to hide, and until such time that the press association issued a rebuke, so to speak, then you come out and you admit. We're saying that is what we're saying. I continue to say these things are harmful to the image of the Guyana Police Force. It shows that from the get-go, you're trying to cover up, you're trying to hide something. Again, I say, the report was made. All right, the people press conference held. The journalists reach out to you. Was a report made? And you had no response from the corporate communication unit, from the crime chief, from Brutus, who they claim is a deputy commissioner, and he's not. From Ikin, the acting commissioner. People reach out to all of these people, and they were mum. And then after they released from the Guyana Press Association, they confirmed. Lack of professionalism, and these are the people who talk about transparency and all of that. They like to use those words, and they know not what that word in particular means. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. I have so much more to say on this matter, but this morning is not a morning when I want to get to all the button. So, CC, I'm going to bring you now for you to comment on this issue with Daimlal again. We have more to go into in terms of the investigation, how it should be conducted, what next. But let me hear you comment on the initial part so far, my friend.
All right. I'm happy that you didn't leave me as a tail ender. You bring me all the up you reshuffle the button order. But I listened to the statement by the attorney, and they said Daimlal was invited. And then my mind went back to when I was arrested. I remember I didn't have a scintilla evidence against me. And 3 police officers, a deputy superintendent, I don't call his name too, assistant superintendent, deputy superintendent Harvey, assistant superintendent Romano, and a sergeant, I can't really remember his name, went to my office, told me that they were inviting me to Suku headquarters in relation to allegation of fraud made against me. I said, well, give me details. They said they didn't have any details, but Karen Bass said that they must invite me. I said, well, I thought no invitation. Well, I said, Karen Bass said, if I don't accept the invitation, they must arrest me. And they arrested me, although they couldn't tell me exactly what they were arresting me for. Took me to Suku at Kuala Lumpur. And then also, Paul Slow, they sent up a team up to Timiri to investigate him because Hardy was coming in. And then they didn't stop there. They arrested him at his court step when he went there in relation to a charge made against him. So the thing is, we who serve the Ghana police force with distinction, I think Paul gave 37 years, I've given 39 years, and we were arrested. And there's a dishonorable minister was invited to Suku headquarters to invited to Kovanjan police station, and the police have powers of arrest. I always like to go to the law, and here is it, section 16 of the Police Act, chapter 1601. It talks about power to arrest without warrant, and it is, I read it. It shall be lawful for any member of the force to arrest without warrant. A. Any person who commits in his view an offense punishable either upon indictment or upon summary conviction. Or B. Any person whom any other person charges with having committed a felony or misdemeanor. C. Any person whom any other person suspects of having committed a felony or misdemeanor. Or 2. Charges with having committed an offense punishable on summary conviction if such member of the force is willing to accompany member of the force affecting the arrest to the police station and to enter recognizance or prosecute such charge. Or any person whom such member of the force finds disturbing the public peace, or any person who he has good cause to suspect of having committed or being about to commit any felony, misdemeanor, or breach of the peace. Or F, any person whom he finds between the hours of 8 o'clock in the evening and 5 o'clock in the morning, lying or lurching in any highway yard or public place, and not able to give a satisfactory account of himself. Here it is, the law covering them to arrest Dharamlal, but he's being given preferential treatment. He's invited to the police station, and there is they have the evidence where the woman gave a statement to the police that he raped her and committed a sexual offense against her, and we can't say that they didn't have the evidence because she gave a statement. And in the statement, the elements or the ingredients of rape was there. And as I said before, rape is forceful, unlawful sexual offense, forceful, unlawful carnal knowledge, where the elements, where the woman, she was forced, she didn't consent, and there was penetration. According to the woman say he used his fingers. The woman say he used his mouth on both her anus and her vagina. They have that in writing. And instead of arresting Dharamlal, what they did, they invited him, according to his lawyer, to the station. And when other persons are being involved, they will be arrested. And the law will cover you if you take the action to arrest him. All the evidence was there, all the ingredients of rape and sexual abuse. He was invited to Kovanjan police station for them to do investigation. And then they said they place him on bail. And there are points to be considered before granting bail. That's what I used to teach in the training school. You look at the gravity of the charge. You look at the weight of evidence. You ask, will the prisoner attend court or will he report to police station as instructed? Possibility of absconding. And this one is critical. Will the granting of bail defeat the ends of justice? And then you should be judged by the Constitution and your conscience. So there it is. Dharamlal was invited. And we talking about bail, or about them granting bail to him, you know. And They say he was on $500,000 bail. Was any money lodged? Or they just thrown dust in the air? Was any money lodged? And if any money was lodged, is there a general receipt book to prove that? Is there entry in the collector's cash book statement? Is there any entry in the bail book? Is there entry in the prisoner's charge sheet? Is there any entry in the daily cash composition book? Is there any entry in the station diary? And what about the recognizance? What is the recognizance stating? So many things there. And apart from that, let me close out this part of it. Apart from that, I understand there. I said before that in the previous case, allegation of rape made against him, they perverted the course of justice. I remember the police commander in G Division in Region 2 took 3 hours and 25 minutes to take a 13-line statement from the victim. 3 hours, 25 minutes to take a 13-line statement to pervert the course of justice. And from information coming out of Region 2, Paul, is that they are attempting to pervert the course of justice. Remember, the woman said that the victim said that there is a man who was sitting on the table eating. Now understand, they directed the divisional detective officer, not the commander this time, to take a statement from the man saying that he didn't work the night, he worked the day. He worked the day. And on top of that, I think yesterday or 2 days prior to that, they made him a supervisor. So, and he gave a statement saying that he wasn't there on the night. So they attempting to pervert the course of justice. And according to the Sexual Offences Act, there is no need for any corroboration. Section 69 say no corroboration of evidence of the complainant or the sworn or unsworn evidence of a child shall be required for a conviction of an offense under this act, and the judge shall not direct the jury that it is unsafe to find the accused guilty in the absence of corroboration. So they're looking for corroboration. They're looking to negative the woman's story, and they have already started. I don't know what they do because they spend hours and hours and hours at Covan John Police Station with their I don't know what they were questioning when they were straightforward. The allegation made by the woman, all they need to do was to put the allegation the woman made to him. And that was it. But they hours, perhaps they cooking up and they're perverting the course of justice. And as I said in the previous episode, I wouldn't be surprised if the politically inclined DPP said there is no evidence to charge him. So let me leave it there.
Right now, we got a lot to unpack. I got a lot to unpack there. We want to make sure that the policemen and others who are listening to this program understands clearly what the process is. Now, let me walk back. Let me start from the beginning. The beginning, for this purpose, is when the reporter, Miss Hack, said that she made a report eventually to the Cove on John police station. Was that report recorded in any book at the police station as is required? Such a report of a crime should be recorded in the crime book. Now we understand back in my days, not any and anyone can go and write in the crime book. So it might very well have been that it is recorded either in the occurrence book or sometimes even the diary. And then the detectives are going to transfer it into the crime book. Now, once that report was made, the police had a duty, they had an obligation to take a statement, a detailed statement from the reporter. Let's understand this clearly. A report is made, any report, that is assault, in this case is rape, you have to take a detailed statement from the person. And let me explain it further. This woman is an intelligent woman, no doubt. And I suspect she might have even prepared her own statement. She might have had a legal person, a lawyer, prepare the statement on her behalf. Many times from experience, you go through that statement, even when it is prepared by a lawyer, there are gaps in the statement. Especially if it's only the victim prepared the statement, there are gaps. Now you, the police, have to go through that and make sure that in a statement, you can take a statement too, that those gaps are filled. You ask questions to make sure certain things are brought out. You're not leading the person, you're not suggesting anything to the person, but you're taking a detailed statement from the reporter. And at the end of that, the offense or offenses would have been established. And that is what would have given you the authority to make an arrest, because a statement was provided and the elements of a crime would have been established in the statement. So you, the police, now can go and make an arrest. So first of all, I don't know whether a detailed statement was taken from the victim when she made the report, or between the time she made the report and the time she made the she did the press conference. I don't know. That is not clear to me. But I'm just saying that once the report was made, you have to take a statement. Now, in normal cases, and this is not normal, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Normal cases, in a rape case, the person will have to then go to get medical examination. But this is not normal, because this is not a recent case. She's saying that this thing occurred before. So I don't think it will be necessary to get the medical examination at that time. Now, all right, you get this thing, and as Mr. Conway said, you inviting the man to come to the station, you don't know where he is. As Mr. Conway pointed out, allegation of against him and myself and others of conspiracy to commit fraud. Conway arrested. The whole squad of policemen went to his workplace to arrest him. In my case, when they understand that I was due to traveling to Guyana on the 19th of May 2021, they turned up at the airport. They turned up at the Timeri airport, about 4 of them, to arrest me on arrival. And you want to know why we say this is an animal farm? All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So Jaram Lal is given real preferential treatment. And let me go further. All right. You invite him to the station. According to what they think, so you invite him, he turned up with his lawyer and at the Covanjan police station yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. And I'm saying this thing to people to understand, including the police. I believe some of these things that are done, they're doing, they are deliberately trying to do things so that Damlal gets the benefit, and at the end of the day, they get the politically aligned DPP to say that because of these mistakes, or because of these reasons, no charge should be brought against Damlal. Because once Damlal goes to the station, the first thing you should do is put the allegation to him. It is alleged that so-and-so person that on such and such a time you did so. And then immediately after the allegation is put to him, he's arrested based on that, and he is cautioned. And then, like what the police say, you caution the person, then arrest. You have to arrest the person, and you caution him. You tell him of his rights to remain silent unless he wishes to do so, and that anything he say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence against him. Caution, according to the judge's rule. You caution him. Now here it is, the lawyer saying that he has just conducted an interview. Now if this man is a suspect, in a rape, allegation is made against him with rape. What type of interview we talking about here? What type of interview we are talking about? All that should happen, as I said, the allegation should be put to him, he should be arrested, and he should be cautioned. And if he elects to make a statement after being cautioned, is there no interview? It is not an interview. It's a caution statement being taken from him. A caution, Iron, you're taking notes. A caution statement. So this thing with the lawyer saying, and let me repeat again, he said, Mr. Damlal, the police invited Mr. Damlal to report to the Covanjan police station. He is cooperating with the police. He has just conducted an interview of which he denied all the allegations and trouble right away. This is deliberate, I think, because I believe they know. And they're deliberately doing that so that at the end of the day, on a technicality, they're going to charge Damlal. I say again, he goes to the station, the allegation is put to him. It is alleged that on such and such a date or between such and such a time, you did so. You are under arrest for this in relation to this matter. Then immediately he is cautioned. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, and anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence. And thereafter, it is not no interview. If he elects to make a statement, it's a caution statement. So when you hear the lawyer telling us that he was interviewed right away, they say sometimes they say both Ghana falls. Both Ghana falls. Right away, something is wrong. Chinese man says something wrong. Something wrong. So it is and I understand. Let me say this. I understand. I don't know how true it is that a certain person or persons from CID headquarters have been asked to conduct or have been instructed to conduct this investigation into this allegation against Jamlal. And when I hear the name or the names, I say clearly they are hustling to cover this matter up. Because one of the persons whose name was called is one who he has had over the years in recent times some of the most damning allegations of corruption leveled against him. Take big money for cover up more than all this stuff. Those are the allegations. So when I hear that he conducting is one of them. Yeah, and Everett, we don't call it Miranda rights in Guyana. In the US, they call it the Miranda rights. But in Guyana, is the judge's rule caution one. Caution before charge. Once you're arrested, you are cautioned. So I understand that is going on. And to pick up from what Mr. Conway indicated, I got information too that as early as Monday, people on the Essequibo coast, police on the Essequibo coast, were asked to contact the man who was supposed to be the watchman at the State House on the night this thing is alleged to have happened. And he gave a statement to them that he was there the night, and no one fitting this description was there the night, nor was the minister there the night. And I too heard that the man was promoted to supervisor the very day or the next day. That is what you hear. That is what is being circulated. We don't like spread rumors on this place, so I just put it as we get it. Right? So coming back to the Damlal investigation, then the lawyer says here, sometimes, as I said before, these lawyers are stuck, and sometimes they want to know which school they went to. So this Mr. De Silva is saying that bail cannot be decided at this stage because the OC does not have that jurisdiction to consider bail at this stage. What balderdash the lawyer talking about? What balderdash? The police standing order and even the bail act is clear as to who can grant bail. The police standing order, the person in charge of the station is the person who determines whether a person should be granted bail or not. And I'm not saying, because if I had been the commander in a matter like this, at some stage, perhaps not so quickly, but he would have been granted bail. I would have agreed for him to be granted bail. But when the lawyer and then the lawyer says, because of the nature and who the person is, it may demand more than just the OC crime here to consider bail. Nonsense you're saying. You must not come out openly and say these things. Should not be saying these things. Because once you go there, and again, the man is cautioned. They'll tell me, they'll say about interview, and I'm saying this here now. You have no authority to interview this Damlal when he goes there. You can't interview him, you caution him, and then he says, well, he can give a statement. Because even when he elects to give a statement, you cannot ask him anything. I'm walked up this morning. I'm teaching. Are you walked up? I'm walked up because that is the law, caution statement. He says whatever he has to say, and you have to record it in just as he say it. If he speaks in patois or broken language, you have to record it like that. You cannot transcribe it, or you cannot convert it into standard English. He is given a caution statement. It has to be recorded as is. And then, now that you're using video recording, even better still. He chooses to give a statement, you turn on the camera, You caution and you say date, time, place where this interview is being conducted and da 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 da, and you allow him to tell his story. You cannot ask him anything. You cannot ask him anything. And to hear the lawyer, well, the lawyer is his client. So I think he must be rejoicing when the police questioning the client without cautioning him, or even when they're cautioning him, they're interviewing him and asking questions. He must be rejoicing because he had to know that they're wrong. And if he had know that they're wrong, everybody just listens to this program, if somebody can tell them, he now knows that they are wrong. And perhaps he's going to use that at some stage to benefit his client. Again, policemen, I see a policeman commented here, whether he's still in the work, that he learned and he taking notes. Let me repeat that for the benefit of you policemen, senior and junior, because I say you got a lot of senior ones, they're not policemen. In the sense they don't know police procedure. This is an allegation of rape against Damlal. Forget who he is. A rape against a person. The person, first thing should happen is a proper statement should be taken from the victim, person who is making the allegation, a detailed statement. Not only the one that she would have provided, because once you go through that and you saw gaps, you have a responsibility to take a detailed statement from her to fill the gaps. Are you saying you aren't coaching she to say things that didn't occur, but you're making sure that the statement is very comprehensive and detailed. Once that is finished, you then get the power to arrest Darnell. All right, you choose to invite him, he turns up. Once he turns up at Cove and John, what you got to do now is put the allegation to him. Of course, you got to make all your records and so on. Put the allegation of the rape to him. And once you put the allegation, he's arrested. He's then cautioned. And if he elects to make a statement, either a written statement or a video recorded statement, it's a caution statement. You cannot question him. The lawyer said the interviewee. What interview are you talking about? What interview are you speaking of? Right? What interview? That is unlawful. That is illegal. You can't, once a man gives, you caution him and elects to make a statement, you can't ask him anything. You cannot. If you choose, as I said again, if he's going to write it down, if you're going to, in writing, he can write it himself. He can ask a member of the force to write it for him, or he could call anybody else. He said, well, look, I want my lawyer, take it down. Or I want my uncle, or I want some school teacher come and write it down. I don't want the police write what I got to say. And then once it is taken down, let's assume that he gives a written caution. Once it is taken down, it is read to him and he signs his name to it and so on. That's it. You can't ask him anything, what you mean by this or what you mean by that, and clarify that. It's a caution statement. And you cannot question him when he is given a caution statement. Right? Let me understand this thing clearly. So it looked like they start off on the wrong foot. And I believe that is deliberate. I believe that is deliberate. But let me go on a little further before I bring in Mr. Conway. Again, it looked like this subject can take all morning by. Now we got to explain it in detail. We have a responsibility to our students and to the general public to explain what should happen. Now, let me say before I go any further, let me say, under the Constitution of Guyana, Darmlal is presumed innocent until proven by a competent court of law. Let me understand this thing clearly. As despicable as we may think he is, 16-year-old alleged that he raped and he bugger she and he groomed she and all that. That's despicable. Previous matter, we're in hotel in the US, displaying the mushroom and inviting some girl to come, where he's alleged to pull gun on some UNDP man. Despite all of that, he is presumed innocent until proven by a court of law. And that presumption is a constitutionally guaranteed presumption. However, we note that in recent times, a lot of people have not been granted this presumption. And I refer to people like Damon McLennan from the sergeant, who was charged with an offense relating to Quindon Bacchus murder. Not a murder, some far-fetched thing they brought against him. And the other two guys, the robbery guy and the next man, Simon, were charged. I think it was on the 5th of July 2022. And the same day they went to court, pleaded not guilty to the charge. The extended squatter dismissed them from the force. So they were not granted any presumption of innocence. But I know that they're going to say, oh, Dharam Lal is presumed innocent. He has this constitutionally protected right, presumption of innocence. But it is selectively used. It is selectively used. The 3 poor constables from Borbis, who the extended squatter dismissed because the officer lost his gun, and somehow they might have been there, something. They got dismissed from the force. No presumption of innocence, no presumption, no natural justice. They never charged you anything on that. They just get dismissed. So yes, while we agree, I agree that Dharam Lal is presumed innocent until he's proven guilty. My concern is, given the previous matter with the girl where they had all the evidence to charge Dharam Lal for rape of that young lady, the DPP dance, the police dance, and then they say they're charging Dharam Lal. So that is even more reason why people are going to look at this one closely to see what the outcome will be. And that is why I say, when police or when the lawyer is telling us that Dharam Lal was interviewed by the police yesterday at Kovanjan police station, I am very much concerned. I am very much concerned because, as I'm saying again, Dharam Lal, when he reported there, he should have been, the allegation should have been put to him. He should have been arrested. He should have been cautioned and not interviewed. If he wants to give a statement, he should have been made to give a statement. If he chooses to remain silent, that's it. Then you're going to consider the question of bail, and then you put him on bail. Now, the next thing I want to say, as Mr. Conway pointed out a while ago, as he pointed out, that the law is saying, Section 69 of the Sexual Offences Act, there is no need for any corroboration. So in other words, once this allegation is made, right, statement is taken, the law is saying that there's no need for any corroboration. I know it's draconian. I have always said it is draconian, but that is the law. That is the law. There's no need for any corroboration. And what we are understand they're doing now, they're trying to, well, what should be done? Let me go further to advise them what should be done. Statements have to be taken, not only from the lady who made the report, but I think they understand they don't gone to, or they sent to Essequibo Coast to take statement. A lot of other details were given in the media report. Names were called. You got to take statement from all those persons. All. And when we talk about taking statement, including negative statements. Police don't know now what is a negative statement. A negative statement is a very, very useful tool. So if a person is supposed to be a witness or a person's name is called, you go to them and say, well, me, I know nothing about that. I wasn't there then. Take a statement from them to that effect. That is referred to as a negative statement. Why a negative statement? So once you tie them down with that statement, they can't come back at some later stage when somebody tries to influence them to say, oh yeah, well, I now remember that this had happened and this has happened. You come back, yeah, you're going to take that. But then you have the two. They got to decide which one of them is truthful for the court to decide. So you take statements. She mentioned the locations when this thing happened. The locus. You have got to visit the locus. And as you did with the previous allegation, before you visit, you have to get a description in the statement. That was a detailed statement has to be given, taken. A detailed, not like what happened in the previous case. You took a statement from the girl gave a description of the place, and then somebody leaked that to Dharam Lal. They leak so that when they pay the visit, when you had the locus in code, they go and visit the place was rearranged. It's alleged that a fresh paint could be smelled. And I said then, I'm saying again, the only way that those things could have been done is because somebody would have told Dharam Lal, the lady described the color of the room, she described how the downstairs was rearranged, so therefore in an effort to discredit her, they also have paint over the room, they also have to rearrange the furniture and so on. So then they're going to say, well, you said the room was a red room, and look, the room now is a blue room. How you say that the TV bin on this wall and look down the TV bin? That is what these vagabonds did. And therefore, something like that is likely to happen again. You have to take a statement from the woman. The woman said she went into the place, and in my word, not our word, the place was like a pigsty. The place was like a pigsty. Well, if pig lived there, what do you expect? She described that. So all of that, those are the details we're saying that you have to have in a statement. Well, even if a pig lived there, one would expect that between the time the incident occurred to now, the pig or someone of the piglets might have cleaned up the place. So that is not something strong to go on, but there are other descriptions that you can elicit from the victim in the statement. So you do all of that and you take statement. And then hear what they want to say. Hear what newsroom, this piece of rag, hear what newsroom said. They you don't understand. Well, let me say first, he said that, hold on. They say Dharamlal remains in custody and is being processed in keeping with standard procedure. So, all right, you want to talk about standard procedure? Was his fingerprint and photograph taken? What about the mugshot? We have seen no mugshot. It'll be them all in his date of birth and his name, date of birth, and the offense which he's arrested. So what nonsense you're talking about? You're telling people about the normal procedure. What normal procedure? Standard procedure, according to your words. Amlal is being treated preferentially. So the normal procedure is that once this first part we're talking about was finished, he should have been fingerprinted, he should have been photographed, he should have been put to the wall and have his mugshot taken. And the normal procedure, as you would have seen, it would have been plastered in the social media, the mugshot with the plate under his chest there, with his name, the offense, the date of birth, and all of the things would have been stated there. That is the normal procedure. And I have not seen that. So don't tell us anything about standard procedure newsroom, because the standard procedure has not been applied in the Dharamlal's case. Standard procedure has not been applied. Now let me bring in Mr. Conway. Let me bring Mr. Conway to have some more of his say on this matter. CC, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm worked up this morning. I'm worked up because when I see this crap what the people writing and so on, we have to educate the policemen, we have to educate the public as to what should happen in this case. And when we identify these missteps, we have to bring it to their attention, because my view is that the identified missteps are deliberate. They are deliberate. Go ahead, Mr. Conway.
Yeah, Paul, the thing is that you interview witnesses and you interrogate suspects. Sometimes you need to clear up some ambiguity. But then the judges will say, as soon as you have evidence which will afford reasonable ground of suspecting that a person has committed a crime, you should caution them. Let me go for. As soon as you have evidence which will afford reasonable ground for suspecting that a person has committed a crime, you should caution them. And the caution is, do you wish to say anything? You are not obliged to say anything unless you wish on anything. But whatever you say, whenever you wish to say anything, you are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to. So, but whatever you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence. And getting back to interviewing witnesses and interrogating suspects, I recall, when and I always have to go back to the 1 year comprehensive training program that the government spent millions and millions of dollars, that was done by the, the emergence group. And I was a point man in Guyana. We did 29 training programs, and one of them is interviewing witness, and another is interrogating suspect. Now, you talk about the process that should follow when a person is arrested. And the Police Act, Chapter 1601, uh, uh, Section 25, talk about powers to take measurement, photograph, and fingerprint. And Section 25:1 said, it shall be lawful for any member of the force to record for the purpose of identification any measurements, photographs, and fingerprint impressions of persons who may from time to time be in lawful custody. You did mention about it. Provided that such measurements, photographs, and fingerprint impression are taken of a person who has not previously been convicted of any criminal offense, and such person is discharged or acquitted by a court, all records relating to such measurements, photographs, and fingerprint impression shall forthwith be destroyed or handed over to such person. 2. Any person who shall refuse to submit to the taking and recording of such measurements, photographs, and fingerprint impression shall be taken before a magistrate who, on being satisfied that such person is in lawful custody, shall make such order as he or she thinks fit, authorizing any member of the force to take the measurements, photographs, and fingerprint impression of such person. For the purpose of this section, a person shall deem to be in lawful custody where he is lawfully detained at any police station in connection with such commission of any crime or offense within the meaning of section 2 of the Prevention of Crime Act. Here is it, as you rightly mentioned, damn lad should have been properly photographed, fingerprint impression taken, and during the course of the investigation, you're empowered to do such things, and we used to call it the way called the conviction report form, where such measurements are taken, and if the person is convicted, you send it to this criminal records office where they have records, so that when persons apply for police clearance, you have the records there. But those things are not being done. Those things are not being sent to criminal records office, so that when a person with 5, 6 conviction, in the case maybe you might find their conviction, and when they apply for police clearance, there is no trace, because nothing was done and nothing was sent. So the thing is that you take the measurements and you place it in the file, and if the person is charged and convicted, you send it to CRO. If not, you give it back to the person, or you destroy it. So as I see it, they're creating a lot of gaps in the investigation, all to be in the favor of Darren Lal. That is what is going on. They're creating gaps. I remember as a prosecutor, and I'm not really boasting, but I just want to say that we had a murder, I think was in Kurpung, and the police took a 8-page statement from the victim. They said a page statement from one of the witnesses, the star witness. And I had the prosecuted matter. The defense counsel was Do Not Sing. The magistrate was Ganga Prasad. Both are deceased. And when I finished as a prosecutor with the witness, the star witness, the magistrate wrote 38 statements, 38, 38 pages the magistrate wrote. And remember, the end of the day, Do Not Sing say, Conway man, why you allow the man for talk so much? If I know how to talk to you before, I said, oh, that make no difference. So the investigators leave a lot of gaps in the statement, sometimes for obvious reasons. And here's it, 8 pages. And when I finished with him, the magistrate wrote 38 pages. So they're leaving a lot of gaps, and all in the intention, Darren Lal will get preferential treatment, that when they go to the politically inclined or politically controlled DPP, they say, hey, we don't have enough evidence here. And as a result, no charges must be brought against the person. So we got to look at this matter and look at it more keenly to see what is going on or what will eventually happen.
I agree. We have to do that. We have to look at it. We have to follow it. And, I have said before, I have a lot of friends in the media, and I got to knock them sometimes because I don't think they do enough. I don't think they do enough, right? They allow this thing to slip. And let me compliment the students first of all. We have record numbers in classes today. Congratulations. Record numbers once again. Um, we had a record, I think, last week. Then that we broke that record on Monday. Now we're breaking the record again today. Congratulations. Now let me show you this. When I talk about my friends in the media, and I don't think they do enough. This is yesterday at Cove and John when the Darmlad turned up, and you will see for yourself what I'm talking about. It then at one
Coming to you live from the Cove John police station on the east coast of Demerara, where former Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel Damlal, who is accused of rape and cyberbullying, was asked to report to the Cove John police station. And of course, we're being accosted by the police, who is asking us to leave the compound. They don't want us to get a clear shot of Nigel Darmlal. Mr. Darmlal is engaging the attention.
To bar the media from getting a shot of this.
Just go out of the compound, please. We have no permit. We call him, please do it out of the compound.
Okay.
Please come out of the compound.
Yeah, we're going around.
Kindly leave the compound, thank you. There is no permit required, but please do it out of the compound.
His attorneys, Bernard De Silva and others. The divisional headquarters, the Cove John police station. Of course, you see we're being asked by the police to leave the compound, but Mr. Darmlal is being shielded in a vehicle here at Cove John.
Mr. Darmlal was invited here in relation to sexual rape, sexual assault, and cyberbullying.
So this is the situation developing here at Cove John on the east coast of Demerara. Former local government minister Nigel Darmlal will be taken into police custody here at the Cove John police station. Station Sergeant of course, asking us to leave the police compound, he and his guard dogs apparently.
Yeah, you don't come out of the
I'm good. Morning.
One of which is
now you saw the video there for yourselves. And when I remarked earlier, sometimes I am disappointed with the journalists, and this is the reason. They are doing their work. They're at the Coven John police station compound to get video recording or still photographs of the rape suspect, Nigel Darmlad. And the police are ordering them out of the compound. And they look like they are complying. They're coming out of the compound. Let me say this clearly, without any fear of contradiction. The police compound is a public place. The public will have access to the compound. And police should not be able to put, especially journalists, out of the compound because they don't want you to take videos and still photograph of the Darmlad. In the station is something different. You can't go into the police station, say you're taking photograph and you're recording it, or in the police building. But you have every right to be in the compound, and you people should stand up for your right. No, what offense are you committing if you remain in the compound? Tell me. Trespassing in a public place? What offense are you committing? You're not committing any offense. And therefore, I am disappointed in the journalists who did not stand up and tell this boy that they say sergeant. I don't know he's a sergeant. A man with a polo shirt with a kind of a police crest with pants. I don't know that is police uniform. They are telling you to come out the compound and you seems to have been complying. You got to stand up. GPA, you got to talk about these type of thing. The journalists, once they are accredited, and I used to caution them, you have to always work with your journalists, pass and so on. So people know that you're a bona fide journalist. Because every time they can hurry now with a cell phone, just call themselves journalists, you know. But once it is established that you are a journalist, police can't put you out of the compound, a police station compound, Covent police station compound, just like that. They cannot put you out of the compound. They have no right to do so. As I'm saying, you have not committed an offense. They'll tell you what you're doing wrong. They can't tell you about trespassing. Perhaps it's the only thing that comes to mind. But it is a public compound. You have every right to be there. So this is all part of the covering up, as we said before. And I posted earlier, people saying Donald Trump, the former president of the US, when he was arrested in Georgia, he had his mugshot taken and put out there in the usual normal fashion. Darmlad, this is the second occasion, rape allegation, and none of the occasions was his photograph, fingerprint taken and released to the public, as is normal, as is customary. So when newsroom tell us, what's they always say? Well, Selwyn, I don't agree. You got to stand your ground for us. Selwyn is saying that the journalists could not win a street fight with the police. And you know, comply, then complain, right? It could be sorted later. I don't agree with that. I believe they should stand their ground and take the photograph. And if they want to claim that you have broken the law, let them arrest. Because this comply and complain thing don't work. So many complaints, they're going to tell you OPR will investigate. OPR has been investigating several matters, and we don't hear anything further about it. So while I respect you, Selwyn, and this is one occasion, one of the few occasions that I will disagree with the course of action that you recommended, that they can. I agree, people say you can't win, and that is one of the reasons why people accept all of these wrongdoings. Oh, we can't win, we can't beat them. And Selwyn, you know that when the president unlawfully suspended the Police Service Commission, a lot of people felt, oh, you can't fight them. But you was strong enough, knowledgeable enough to take them on. We swam against the tide and we won. So again, I say, my brother, all due respect to you, I am concurring, I am agreeing with your course of action recommended. Sometimes you have got to stand your ground. You have got to stand your ground when you know that you are in the right. You have to stand your ground. And I believe that the journalists in Guyana, there are a few very good journalists, I'm not going to deny that, but most of them are weaklings. They don't write, they're frightened for right because they're going to be victimized. And then they always got a slant. You know, they write about something, and they're going to say, oh, it happened in previous administrations too. And not to the same degree. I have always said when you look at some of these things, not the same degree. You can't comply. You can't compare oranges with oranges. You can't compare orange with some other fruit. And that is one of the issues we have. All of them feel compelled that when they criticize the government, they must go back perhaps to the Barnum days and say, oh, yeah, Barnum, they do something similar to, and so on. I believe that is how it should be. I don't believe that is how it should be. Now, next part of this thing before I begin, Mr. Conway, I got to tell you all about, as I said, perhaps this whole morning I'm going to deal with this Dharmlal issue. Perhaps the whole morning. And we're talking about what the law says about the investigation of sexual offenses. And perhaps this is very, very important too. The law says when we talk about police investigation, and I refer in specifically to the Sexual Offences Act, the police are required to record and investigate every sexual offense report, and within 3 months of the report, to either bring charges or send the file to the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice. Failure by the police to report, investigate, charge, or seek advice by the DPP within 3 months is neglect of duty, and disciplinary charges may be brought. Any person making a false sexual offense report is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $50,000 and imprisonment for 3 years. And then hear this part. Hear this part. No confrontation between the complainant and the accused. But put it this way. Let me read that back. They say confrontations between the complainant and the accused are unlawful. Read it again. Confrontations between the complainant and the accused are unlawful. Complainants should never be in the presence of the accused or other witnesses for the accused, unless for an identification parade by way of an audio-visual link, two-way mirror, or other means whereby the accused cannot see the complainant. And that is very, very important. Covan John again, 2 years or so ago, a young lady from Buxton made a complaint that she was raped by a taxi driver. And you would not believe it. I wrote a letter to the media, perhaps more than one letters in the media about it. The victim, the rape victim, was interviewed, was questioned in the presence of the suspect at Covan John police station. And the result of that is that the young lady went home and she killed herself. Let me repeat that. Covan John police station, maybe some of the very actors are still there. I don't know. A young lady made a report that she was raped by a taxi driver. The report was made, first of all, it was dancing because I think it's from Buxton area. The report made in Covan John and the dancing as to who should deal with the matter. Eventually, when the taxi driver was arrested, the young lady who is making this allegation was interrogated, not interviewed. She was interrogated in the presence of the driver. The young lady became so embarrassed, so distraught. She went home and she hanged herself. She committed suicide. And the law is clear, and this law was before, this law that I'm reading here was before that incident I referenced a while ago, where it is saying that confrontations between the complainant and the accused are unlawful. Are unlawful. So let me see. Because these George Potato that we get now, gonna tell you, say, well, they want a confrontation between Miss Hack and Dharmlal. That is unlawful. The law says that, not Paul Sloan or Clinton Conway. The law, the Sexual Offences Act, makes that unlawful. And the next thing I want to tell you about this matter before I begin, Mr. Conway, is that perhaps down the road, we're talking down the road, if it gets to that stage, because I don't think anyone, given the past record of the DPP in matters like this might never get to the court. But just in case it gets to the court, this is a classic case for a paper committal. In other words, once you institute the charge, there should be no need for a preliminary inquiry. And again, we are teaching. Now, a rape charge is not a hybrid charge, meaning it cannot be tried by the magistrate and the judge. A rape charge is a felony, is an indictable charge. It is not a summary charge. So the normal procedure used to be that once the charge is laid, a preliminary inquiry is held by a magistrate to determine whether there is a prima facie case to for the matter to go to the judge and jury, right? So we understand. But so in the preliminary inquiry, what happened? Basically, the victim got to go there, recount the story, and all of this type of thing for the magistrate. Victims got to be cross-examined, and all this type of thing. But there's a provision now in the law for a paper committal, which will now do away with the preliminary inquiry. And I'm talking about the recent revelation where the Attorney General said they went to Parliament to do away with preliminary inquiries altogether. I am talking about currently, even before that law is enforced, there is a provision for a paper committal where the statements of all the persons are sent, the lawyers get the opportunity to respond in writing to all of these things, and then the person, the suspect, can be committed. They do a paper committal for them to stand trial at the High Court. And I'm saying that if it gets to this stage, this matter is a classic case for a paper committal. So the victims and all of those persons don't have to go before the magistrate and recount all that transpired, and then have to go again in the High Court and repeat the same thing and get the lawyers harassing the witness for her to relive that terrible experience. So this would be a classic case for a paper committal. Again, I say, if it gets to that stage, and again, I want to emphasize, I want to tell the lawyers who are looking on, the people from the DPP's chambers, they should examine Section 69 of the Sexual Offences Act, which states quite clearly that cooperation is not needed in this matter. It goes on even further to tell you that the judge, I read it, I did the research last night. And they said clearly, and it said when appropriate, it talks about the judge must also inform the jury that corroboration, and they said verification or other statements to confirm or proof of a complainant's evidence or a sworn or unsworn evidence of a child is not needed for a conviction. It is not needed for a conviction. So I hope that the people, and here let me tell you this. I noted with some interest that Dharmlal changed attorney. I just observe these things, because the last time when he had the rape against a 16-year-old, he went to one of the most reputable law firms in Guyana. And there was a big uproar because he went to Nigel. And we said Nigel shouldn't take you on and so on. And Nigel gave an explanation as to the ethical thing, all of that. I know this time he didn't go back there. He went elsewhere. And I'm saying that I hope that this young lady has retained the services of some good lawyer to look into her interests and to follow closely the nature of this investigation, to follow the investigation all the way to the DPP's chambers, especially bear in mind what took place when the last allegation was made against Narlan. Follow it very, very closely. And it might be a case, let me be the devil's advocate here, that if the DPP dancing, put the DPP's chamber under pressure by filing a private criminal charge against Nigel Damlal, if sufficient time has been given for the police to conclude the work, and they believe they're dragging it out unnecessarily, file your own private criminal charges, because we should not overlook that allegation of cyberbullying has also been made. It's not only the rape allegation, cyberbullying. File private criminal charges and let the DPP discontinue it, as she did in the Asikebo matter recently. Let her discontinue it, like she did also with the lawyer who allegedly spat on the police constable at his father's residence. Comrades, I know some of you don't like this comrade thing, but I grew up in the 70s, so I accustomed to saying comrade, we have got to challenge some of these things. We have got to challenge these things. We have got to be prepared to put our shoulders to the wheel and challenge these things. And I also note And I'm not surprised. The silence of all the women's organization, all them in the PPP, they got several female ministers in the PPP. You have all set of them. I know they have been, the silence has been deafening. At least on the first occasion, people like Nandalal and the president came out and they talk about the presumption of innocence and all of that. They haven't said nothing yet. I haven't heard them saying anything yet. Maybe tomorrow, when Tanti Moral views out, Tanti Moral might be asked something about this. And let's hear what Tanti Moral has to say. And Tanti Moral or Woman Bacchanal. I just tell y'all, listen to that song, I tried playing it once and then they knocked me out. Because you can't play music. And I want to hear Woman Bacchanal by the Mighty Duke. You know the song, Inida Shimakube? It was a big bacchanal just the other day with Inida and Shimakube. Big comments the other day with Inida and Shimakube. I don't want to hear so a passing straight. A fella pull me and tell me wait. Same time Idin husband come off the bus. Is now the Makume start to cost. Yeah, Google it, man. Google it and see. Tanti Merle the Oval. Inid and Shimakube. Yeah, so they're silent. They are silent. They haven't said a thing. But I'm saying, of course, you have to give the police time to do their work. The law is specific. The law say that within 3 months, in a matter like this, I believe it's too long. But the law says that in 3 months, they must file charge or seek advice from the DPP. So let's see where this will go. Let's see. Let me bring you Mr. Conway, then we're going to try to move on to the next subject. CC, let me hear you close off on this matter, my friend.
All right, let me just nail it down in terms of cooperation and confrontation, especially for the investigators. And briefly, cooperation is evidence that strengthens the primary evidence. There are certain things, cooperation, which is required of law and a matter of practice. But let me go back again and repeat for the sake of emphasis as it relates to cooperation. Section 69(1) say, and I read it, no corroboration of evidence of the complainant or the sworn evidence of unsworn or the sworn or unsworn evidence of a child shall be required for a conviction of an offense under this act. And the judge shall not direct the jury that it is unsafe to find the accused guilty in the absence of corroboration. So there's no requirement there according to the law. And in terms of confrontation, especially when they're doing the investigation, they might want to bring the woman and put you in front of the Amlal for she talk your story. The law is clear, section 42(1) say, where a report is made of an offense under this act, at no point during the investigation shall the complainant be required to recount the complaint or any part of it in the presence of the accused unless the complainant wants to do so. And section 2 saying the complainant shall not be required to view or be in the presence of any person referred to in the complaint as having perpetrated an offense under this act, save for the purpose of identification parade, and then only by way of audio visual link, by way of two-way mirror, or in any other manner sensitive to the complainant's well-being. So it's saying that in terms of identification, you could have an audio link, you can have a two-way mirror, or any other manner sensitive to the complainant's well-being. So there's no need for them to come face to face. And and as you rightly mentioned, I agree with you. If you are advising the complainant, hey, find a good lawyer. Find a good lawyer so that she could be properly advised. This matter is a matter of serious nature, and the police dilly-dallying. They're masquerading about the place. They're doing all kind of thing, and they're giving Dharam Lal preferential treatment, which ought not to be thing. But then we say animal farm in place all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Animal Farm. George Orwell, huh? Yeah, Animal
Yeah.
Farm. Let me say this. The people complimented me, man. They said I could sing. Some of the students say I sing Woman Bacchanal. And they say I could sing. Somebody asked me to sing again. But I'm no songster. I'm not singer. But it's a song that I like. And they said one of the voices said, what you know about shame, the Makume say. You didn't see him last week, Saturday. When your husband come home earlier, instead, you have to hide under the man underneath the bed. And coming on to the end, the husband said, stop telling lies. You want to put me against my wife. In front of me face, you lying, and my wife, and have nobody but me. I know that man you're talking about. That is our cousin Rupert from South. When he come home with a sleeping tree, sometime I myself the sticky for me. Yeah. Woman Bacchanal, man. Go on YouTube, Mighty Juke. Woman Bacchanal. It's a bad song, man. It's a bad song. Yeah, but let me move on. Today is not karaoke day. But it's when you listen to the lyrics of Inid and Shimakume using out, they say, because you and Darius couldn't agree, you tie the child in the girl belly. You gotta bring some levity to this thing, because this thing's so damn serious. If you try to relax, you might go crazy. Allegation against Daimlal all the time. This is not the second one, people saying it's the second. They have had several allegations before, We had the New York matter. We had the one with the UNDP man. This is a man who go in parliament and during a debate tell a fellow parliamentarian, a female parliamentarian, you need a dildo. Now, if a man can say so in parliament in front of the lawmakers, one can readily accept that the allegation gets some merit in it. It was there for all of us to see and to hear Dharamlal telling a female member of parliament, you want a dildo, right? So if he is saying so in parliament, the man's thinking. The man is a sick man. And for those of you in America or who following the news, he need to be sent to North Carolina, Kristi Noem. Yeah, I must read about Kristi Noem, the parliamentary, the governor or something like that, how she deals with these things, right? I'm not advocating violence, but I'm saying that perhaps Dharamlal needs to have proper treatment. I am no doctor, I'm no psychologist, but given the pattern of behavior by that thing, he needs treatment. And the fact that they are closing ranks, the PPP silent. This PPP, this party, the PPPC, the pedophiles, the perverts, and the predators, plus corruption. That is what? Let me repeat that. The pedophiles, the perverts, and the predators, and corruption, PPPC. A despicable human being like Dharamlal, they are falling in line and they are covering down. And I'm waiting for the statements from them, It has been almost a week since the young lady made the allegation. They're silent, they're quiet. They're quiet. I wonder why. This time they have come out in support of him. And I said last week, I said Wednesday, and I'm saying it again. He has threatened legal actions against this young lady who made the last allegation. I noted that when the 16-year-old indigenous girl made the allegation of rape and buggery against him, he never threatened such action. He never threatened any action. This is an allegation made against him, causing him to be arrested, causing him to be put on bail, causing him to resign from the government and parliament, resign as a minister of government. He never threatened legal action against her, but he threatened legal action against this woman. But given the woman's background, I read it. I think she was one of the top students in Guyana some years back at CXC. And when you listen to our presentation, you know that this is an educated individual. I'm not saying that the other one, because the other girl's statement was very, very revealing too, right? But the other one was starched and she back off. I don't see any such thing in this case. But we got to understand what is going on. We got to understand where it's going. Now let me move on. I want to touch, and I got to come back to this on Monday. I promise you, I'll come back to this one because with the time remaining, we won't get to deal with it to its logical conclusion. And I'm talking here about the notice I gave yesterday, or we gave yesterday, about the carnage on the road. Carnage on the road continues. Carnage on the road continues. My God. My Lord, Monday, 5 persons died. They said, I think 4 were critical. I think this morning is saying one of the persons, 3, I think they said remain serious, and one may have been discharged or something. Let's pray that those persons survive. And let's continue to express condolences to the grieving families, the teachers and all of that, because 2 of the deceased people were teachers. And then you have had so many accidents, fatal accidents. I noted too that I don't think for this entire year, the police has come out to say how many accidents you have. Even though they're going to break it down, they're calling some fatal accidents, some calling fatal incident. People are dying on the roads. And you ought to tell people what is going on. They aren't doing that. And I recall, again, let me read it for you. Let me read it for you. This is the president's New Year's message this year, 2024. Yes, let me quote him what he's saying. The carnage on our roads will be greeted with a robust road safety and traffic management plan. I intend to have a national conversation on this issue within the coming days. Out of that conversation, new laws, regulations, and technology will be implemented to stop the carnage on our roads. That's what the president said on New Year's Day. President said New Year's Day. Before that, in August of last year, according to the same news source, this is news source, not newsroom, news source, Gordon Mosley, President calls for collective partnership to curb reckless use on the road. And the president is quoted there saying, we have a collective responsibility on the issue. And we have to call a spade a spade. Parents have a responsibility too. And so we have to deal with this as a collective, as a country. He's also quoted as saying in the same article, we have to address drinking and driving. We have to address speeding. The number of accidents these days involving lorry is also of concern too. And our roadways are not designed for that load, and that they are taking. So, as a people, we have to be more cautious. Then he's further quoted as saying, we also have to move to the enforcement of laws, the merit system, suspension of license. We have already moved on the electric ticketing on the new road. In 1 month, we had over 5,000 tickets. People are speeding. So we have to look at this in a collective way. Then he goes on to say in the article, it was noted that the acting commissioner of police has been instructed to have the Guyana Police Force establish a robust education awareness campaign to promote proper use of the road in an effort to curb road accidents. That is one thing. Again, you hear they say, the president is quoted as saying, a lot of accidents have to deal with excessive speeding and a lot of drinking on the road. Then you have here again, I will go to again, and this is Kaicho News, September the 6th, 2023. Ejil, they're referring to the minister. Ejil slams reckless driving as fatalities climb. One Ejil said there is a level of irresponsibility that is practiced by many drivers, and one has to wonder if this is the cause of development. Ejil said that the ministry has noticed an increasingly alarming trend of excessive speed and reckless driving on the nation's road, a practice that must never be condoned in a civilized society. Well, let me stop right there because it is condoned, because Guyana is not a civilized society. Civilized plantation is not a civilized society. So all of them, the president on New Year's Day came out and talked about this. He spoke about it last year. Ejil talked about it. The acting commissioner, the extended squatter, he too spoke about it. Well, he did not talk. He did something. He pulled in all the traffic heads. Think about last year, transfer them, tell them, say, they must line the road to stop speeding. Police, imagine, this is the strategy from the acting commissioner, the extended squatter. He instructed that the police should line all the roads to stop speeding. You want to tell me these people know what they're doing? You have to line all the roads to stop speeding. And what he did, I want to know what has happened to the Respect the Road campaign. They started what they call a Respect the Road campaign with a big billboard of the picture of the acting commissioner by the seawall there, by the Kitty roundabout, and 1-2 at Windsor Forest. At least I saw those two. That is it. Billboard with the picture of the commissioner, and they say respect the road. Now, how that is going to impact on the safety on the road? And let me say this, as I said, I got to come back to this. I have a lot of notes on this subject. As a former senior police officer, as a 2-time traffic chief, I served as traffic chief on 2 occasions in Guyana, right? I think I have a lot to contribute. I've been contributing on this program, making suggestions. And again, I say that this is no longer a police problem. And that is one of the things that is bothering and is affecting the system. People look at it as a policing problem. Oh, enforcement. It has gone past that. It has gone past where the police can just enforce the law and bring a change to what is going on. It is past that. It calls for a more comprehensive approach. They don't like to talk about the elephant in the room, the corruption, the 6C, and they need to analyze to see, maybe they need to contract, maybe they need to employ the professional people to come up with recommendations and suggestions as how this thing can be handled. I remember back in the 90s, when I was the traffic chief, they brought in Professor Boodoo. The government brought in Professor Boodoo, and he did a survey and recommendations and so on. I remember the time he said that based on the survey, the most dangerous stretch of road was somewhere in the Better Hope area there. And he analyzed it, and they talk about the intervention measures, enforcement, engineering, and all those type of things were considered. Now, nothing is happening. People believe that the police can go up on the road and write tickets, which are never paid, and to pull in vehicles and charge people, and they believe that is going to solve it. We have said repeatedly in this program that this matter has gone past that. This now is a national issue. It has gone past that. And unless and until people can recognize that police alone, by charging people and doing that, is not going to solve the problem, until they recognize that, until they implement some of the measures we have recommended. First of all, one of the things we said, that you have to have now a Department of Transportation to deal with licensing, to deal with the certification of motor vehicles and all of that. And we come right now with the certification of motor vehicles, where you certify whether a vehicle in Guyana is fit to be on the road. Who the people do it? It's the police officers, the licensing and certifying officers, who have limited training in that respect. Some of them have no training in mechanics and all of that. So they certify a vehicle by they look at the tires to see the tires smooth. They tell you put on your windscreen wipers, check your lights, and that is the extent of the certification. And we're saying something wrong. We don't know how many of the accidents, they say speeding. But is speeding the only contributory factor? Man might be speeding, yes. But then he might have defective braking system. So that when he applies or when he got the brake can't work. All those can be contributory factors. So this thing called for an holistic approach. Look at only recently, and I'm gonna do. I said we don't have time now, but only Monday, only couple days ago, a man get killed in Bobby's. He rode into a donkey. He rode into a donkey. There's another picture I will show you where a horse, they get obstructions on the road and so on. And the president saying that, look, what did he say? Let me read. The carnage on our roads will be greeted with a robust road safety and traffic management plan. I intend to have a national conversation on the issue within the coming days. That was on January 1, Within the coming days, out of that conversation, new laws, regulation, and technology will be implemented to stop the carnage. Instead of having this conversation, instead of this regulation, we got the president showing off his Michael Jackass moves. President there, you saw it on social media, the Michael Jackass moves. That is what is going on. A big comedy. I understand that last week, someday, the second vice president went to parliament and he remarked that he is now at the circus. Well, if he is now at the circus, he is referring to Parliament as the circus. It simply means that the circus was missing the circus master or the ringmaster all the time. So I wonder what animal he is in this circus. Wonder what animal. I believe is a poodle. But yeah, the president who promised, he spoke about it last year, August, about the carnage. So it's all talk. He talked about it New Year's Day in the message to the nation. And up to now, I am not aware that he has had this conversation. I am not aware that anything has been done, because I am saying that this requires now a national effort. This is not the police, you're licking down the police for telling them about education. And that's why the president, imagine the president of the country saying that he called on the acting commissioner for education. That's not the responsibility of the police. You have a Ministry of Education. You have NCN. You have all of these people pushing propaganda. They are the ones who should be made to develop public information and all of that, to bombard the public with educational stuff about roads usage and all these type of things. They are the ones. You know, back in the day when Lilas was commissioner, remember they had this thing with Shell, so you think you can drive. So something like that, the program name. And every Sunday, there used to be, it used to be aired. There used to be role play and all of that on good driving practice. You got to spend some money and invest in this type of things. You have to spend money and invest in that type of thing. And as I said, we're going to talk more about the road carnage, because it requires a continuous conversation. And I'm going to talk about it more on Monday. But before, let me bring in Mr. Conway to have his say on this thing. CC, I'm giving you 2 minutes because we almost run out of time. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, let me say straight off the bat that if you take a clown and you put in charge, you get plenty circus. Circus going to be there all the time. Now there's this traffic situation. There's no silver bullet. There's no one-shot solution. You have to get a holistic approach, as we've been saying all the time. And I've been making the point that the thing has got to be data-driven. As a 3D, data-driven decisions, we have to analyze the data. And based on what we analyze, we use human and other resources to deal with it. And apart from that, we mentioned a couple programs ago that we use a 3-skill approach. Your technical, your human, and your conceptual skills. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in another episode. So let me close. I think the 2 minutes finished by now.
Well, your 2 minutes are done, but anyhow, let me say, my brother, we have got to continue to bring these things to attention. One of the students asking here, what about the Eye in the Sky campaign? We have to speak about today, but time, this damn little thing, we have to take some time on that. The Eye in the Sky, or as I call it, the Pie in the Sky. And just for information, the Eye in the Sky is a campaign that was launched by the Giant Services. The thing is somewhere about the Eye in the Sky. Oh, let me tell you what it says here quickly. Now we're going to deal with this too on Monday. The Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force have initiated a joint operation in Georgetown called Eye in the Sky on Tuesday, April 16, 2024. This operation involves the use of drones, which may be seen flying low over some areas. Members of the public are advised not, let me go back that. Members of the public are advised not to be alarmed. Eye in the Sky will run for 1 month. During this time, there will be an increase in police presence, roadblocks, stop and search, traffic enforcement, road patrols, and raids will be conducted. There will be motorcycle and bicycle campaigns, roadblock operations, cordon and searches, and the execution of warrants. Members of the public are asked to give full support and cooperation to the Giant Services. That was this operation started on the 16th of April. So today is a month, and we don't hear anything further about it. And as yes, student, you have had all these accidents, you have had all these murders right in the center of Georgetown during this very operation, Eye in the Sky. So I don't know how useful it is, and I don't expect them to tell us what they achieved. First of all, you can only tell us what you achieved if at the commencement of this operation, you had a clear plan as to what it was intended to achieve. But they just come randomly with these things, and then they don't tell you anything further. And before I leave, again, I want to tell you that a police sergeant was killed how long ago? March 16th or something like that. I'm referring to Sergeant Vaughn. They told us that an investigation of some rank was under close arrest, and I think it is over 2 months now. And the death of this police sergeant, you can't hear anything more about it. A police sergeant killed in the line of duty, they say, accidentally. You ain't hearing anything more? Around the same time, Ransom Special Branch shot up a car in which a traffic sergeant was in. 88 bullets, they said they fired at this car. Yeah, they're going to investigate. We're not hearing anything more. And these are the people who talking about transparency. Nothing transparent about what is going on. Nothing at all. Nothing. So, folks, we have come to the end of today's program. I was very worked up with this Dharamlal issue because somebody asked me to see what the crystal ball is saying. I'm going to look at the crystal ball. I'm going to tell you what the crystal ball says, perhaps Monday or on some subsequent program. But that is what we have. Now, and one thing I failed to mention, one of the viewers, I don't know, is not a regular, they commented on last week's program that, I should refer to the president as Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, and we should show respect and so on. I just want to say that respect is something that is earned. Respect, you have to earn respect. You can't demand respect. People might respect the office, and I do respect the office, but some of the individuals who occupy those offices, I can never respect. Like Mark Phillips, for example. A man who lies in an affidavit, I can't respect him. I respect the office of Prime Minister, but the individual who occupies the office cannot and will not be respected by me. You can't lie and perjure yourself and get the respect of me. That is what I want to say about respect. And folks, again, thank you for your attention. We make record numbers today. The largest number of students in the classroom and in the schoolyard we have today. I compliment you, and I suspect that it is because of the educational value of this program. You give us your time to be here and to listen. I hope we have not disappointed you, and we therefore invite you to return on Monday, God's Spare Life, at 11 o'clock for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, stay well and continue to follow what is going on. Thank you again for your support and your attention. Share the live. Let people know. I think you're doing that because almost every week now, we see the numbers going up. Again, thanks very much. Stay well and see you next Monday. Bye.